Hello friends, and welcome back to my home. If you are new here, my name is Kristina and I am a neurodivergent mother of 5 who loves all things vintage. So today we are going to try out a week of 1950s breakfast foods. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Betty Crocker's picture cookbook from 1950. I found this at a thrift store for 50 cents. It's fabulous. It has a formula for meals, and you can either do for adequate meals or for complete and abundant meals. So kind of like depending on what your budget is. I'm going to go with the complete and abundant meals. And that formula is fruit, cereal and milk, egg or meat, and then some sort of bread. So you could do toast, pancakes, waffles, coffee cake, etc, etc, etc. That is the formula I'm going to follow. So I want to pop in really quickly and say that I actually ended up using quite a few meal plan suggestions from this Betty Crocker's new picture cookbook. I had forgotten that I had this, and so when I filmed the intro, which was over 2 weeks ago, I did not think about this book, which has a lovely little couple of sections of recipe meal plan things in it. I used this for the majority, as you will see in the video, but let's get into it. So day one, I have to be honest, it has been about 2 weeks since I filmed this video and I don't remember what meal plan I was following here because I had forgotten that my Betty Crocker new picture cookbook has a full week of meals in it. So I think I was potentially just putting together a breakfast based on the regular 50s Betty Crocker meal plan, alongside taking a suggestion from Betty Crocker's new Good and Easy cookbook, where there is a whole 2 pages of suggestions for cereal toppings and cereals that go together. As you can see, I have made myself an egg and I decided to put it on top of toast. And then for my cereal combination, I took Cheerios and strawberries. And my drink of choice this morning was coffee. I also decided to have a glass of milk on this day. I don't normally drink milk, but I decided to honor the 1950s. There's always a glass of milk. I feel at every meal there's always a glass of milk suggested, so I did that. This was a very nice breakfast and it felt good to just sit and enjoy my food, and I don't really cook myself or make myself breakfast like this very often. So it was really, really nice. Now on day 2, I was taking from the Betty Crocker's new picture cookbook, and I went for tomato juice, delicate fluffy pancakes, the recipe which is in the Betty Crocker cookbook, butter, maple syrup, bacon, and coffee or milk. For the pancake recipe, you will need 3 egg yolks, 1 2/3 cup thick buttermilk, 1 1/2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of soft butter, and 3 egg whites stiffly beaten. Beat the egg yolks well with a rotary beater and measure the flour by dip, level, pour method or by sifting, which, as you can see, I decided to do both. Beat in the buttermilk and mix dry ingredients, then beat in the butter, gently fold in the beaten egg whites, and bake as for favorite pancakes, which I did not realize it said that, and I just cooked them on a griddle, which I think is what you're supposed to do. This recipe was very delicious. I will try to remember to type it out in the description. If I don't, forgive me. You can find this cookbook online on eBay or Etsy or whatever thrift websites that you like. But, and I'm sure that you could probably Google it as well. But I really liked this pancake recipe. I don't normally make pancakes by hand because we have been given several bags of pancake mix. because people know that my husband likes pancakes and gave us some giant bags of pancake mix. So I haven't actually made pancakes from scratch in a long time, but I kind of think I want to start doing that again. And as you can see, my 5-year-old woke up at this point. I had gotten up pretty early because I knew that I was filming this video. That is another confession I have to make, is that I don't get up very early before school days, but my 5-year-old woke up and wanted to help me, so I let her help me stir and cooked up these pancakes, and they were delicious. And as you can see, I also made some bacon by the baking in the oven method, which, if you do not know, you will want to turn your oven to about 300 degrees. Sometimes I do 350. It just really depends on how quickly I want it done. And cook it for about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is. And that was this breakfast. Look at how beautiful these pancakes are. They were just gorgeous. And I have to say that the V8 juice, the tomato juice, I actually really liked. I have a soft spot for tomato juice, so this was delicious. Now, there was a little bit of a gap between day 2 and day 3 because I got sick and I couldn't film. So day 3 was filmed about a week after days 1 and 2, and I decided to try the steamed prunes, which I learned is just like dried prunes. I think, I could be wrong, but I just used dried prunes, and then I ate Cheerios and cinnamon toast and hot chocolate. It was a very simple breakfast, very bread / grains and sugar heavy, which is not, again, something that I would normally eat. But it was not unpleasant. It was a nice combination, other than maybe the prunes. I'm not a huge fan of prunes. I don't know many people who are, but we do it for the content. And I sprinkled some cinnamon sugar on my toast, and that was breakfast this day, which was very convenient because this was another very busy day where I was having to drive back and forth quite a bit, and it was nice to have a quick, convenient breakfast. And here you can see my reaction to the prunes, which I tried my very best to eat, but they were not good, to be honest. They were kind of terrible. So on day 4, I decided to go for oatmeal and a ham slice. It says a broiled ham slice, and it says the recipe is in this cookbook, but it is literally just frying a ham slice in a pan. For my oatmeal, I did a half a cup of old-fashioned oats and half a cup of water and half a cup of milk, and then I squirted in probably about 2 tablespoons of honey to pre-sweeten it. I like to cook my sweetener into my oatmeal, and this was really delicious. Again, I just don't eat greens for breakfast. I tend toward potatoes for breakfast, so this was eye-opening that there are definitely things I do actually like for breakfast that I wouldn't normally make myself. This oatmeal was so good. I wanted more, but my 3-year-old wanted to share. And then a classic in my mind, a grapefruit is a very classic 1950s thing to have. So we had half of a grapefruit each, and it was very satisfying. This is one of my favorite breakfasts. And then, while iced coffee was not on the 50s menu, I made myself some iced coffee this day in my beautiful 1950s coffee carafe. And overall, this was just really lovely. I was doing some gardening on this day, so it was nice to eat a hearty meal and feel nice and full. I didn't end up eating the entire ham slice. That was a lot of ham, and I assumed that maybe this was meant for more than one person, but that was day 4. And here we are on day 5, and I am making waffles, strawberries and cream, syrup or hot applesauce, pork links, and coffee or tea. These waffles were delicious, but I should have stored them in the oven, so keep that in mind if you try to make them. I made the typical waffles recipe, which calls for 2 eggs, 2 cups of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of soda, which is baking soda, 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of salt, and 6 tablespoons of soft shortening or bacon fat. I used Crisco, as you can see here, because I did not have any bacon fat. And to make them, you are going to heat your waffle iron and then beat your eggs well. Measure the flour by dip level pour method or by sifting. Beat in the remaining ingredients with a rotary beater until smooth, and pour from the cup or the pitcher onto the center of the waffle iron. This was a really easy recipe. I think that's something that I really like about this whole entire week, is the recipes that I did make were pretty simple, and I appreciate that as someone who is not particularly fond of baking in the morning. I liked all of these recipes, and I would make them again. I like making things by scratch, which I haven't done in a really long time. I think I've been stuck in the grind of getting my kids to school on time, and we just eat cereal in the mornings. And here, by the way, I was trying to make my daughter a heart waffle, but it didn't work. I think this video was a really good reminder to me of how I can absolutely make things easily and quickly and wholesomely. And by the way, I didn't have any cream, so I decided to just make strawberries sliced with a tablespoon or 2 of sugar in them as a topping, and that worked out pretty well. And I have never had hot applesauce on waffles, so I did try that, and it was not very good, but that was the last breakfast for this week of breakfasts, and I hope you enjoyed it. The last thing, this was actually something that I wanted to do on the first day, but realized that I had mistakenly thrown away the cord because I didn't know what it was for. And that is to try this 1960s Sunbeam percolator, which I found at a garage sale, and I got it on the free day. The day that I started filming this video, I realized that I had thrown away the old cord like a week prior. But I got a new cord off of eBay, and we're gonna try it. I have not made coffee in a coffee pot in a very long time. I use the French press, and I'm hoping that this doesn't like shock me, or I have my husband on standby because I'm a little bit afraid to do it. But we're gonna make coffee in this coffee pot just for the fun of it. Okay, well, I guess we're not doing that. My husband decided to mow the lawn, but I need to film an outro. That was this video. I'm really disappointed the coffee maker did not work. It looks like it's just so bent on the bottom, which I suspect is because I dropped it. When I got it, they put everything into a box for me, and the bottom of the box fell out and everything dropped on the ground. So I am pretty sure that's probably why it's bent and leaking. I might buy myself one off of eBay because I do really think it's really cute. I would like to have one that works, but we'll see. At least it was free, other than the $14 cord that was, I will just save for the next coffee pot if I get one. So that was this video. I hope that it gave you some good ideas on like what to eat in the mornings. I think in the future I will share a video more of like more recipes to try, but for this one I really just wanted to share the quicker, easier things to make. I mean, waffles took about 30 minutes and pancakes also took about 30 minutes, but everything else was really fast and easy, and the prunes were not my favorite. I think that the most interesting thing to me is how bread heavy everything is, or like grains heavy, we'll put it that way. I am very used to not eating a whole lot of grains. I tend to eat more potatoes, vegetables. My standard breakfast, my ideal breakfast, I'll say it that way, is like a potato hash with eggs, or like bacon and beets and whatever garden vegetables. That's kind of my ideal. So to have a week of breakfast where I was eating bread and cereal and waffles and pancakes all week was pretty different for me. It could be very standard for a lot of people, but it's just not what I'm used to eating. I don't particularly enjoy grain-based foods as much. I am going to make a week of 1950s lunches and a week of 1950s dinners, so stick around if you want those. Those will definitely be more recipe based. As always, I hope that wherever you are feeling safe and loved, and until I see you again, have a beautiful day and thank you for watching. Bye!